Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Build Live from Oak Hill Works. How are we all doing this evening? I hope we are well. And yes, I'd like to thank you all for joining me here on my birthday. I am years old now, which I think is an age to start feeling it. But still, here we are. We have made it. And to that, I would of course like to say, cheers everyone. Hydration is important. Please do join me in a drink and a cake. Hydration is very important this evening. So, the observant of you that were here last week will notice that the LBSC on here has changed and is smaller and slightly further apart. I did of course the day after the stream find the picture I was looking for, and we were right thinking that it was too big. So I corrected that and I've sealed all the transfers it already has in with another coat of varnish, enough coat of gloss at this point. The whole thing will get matted down together once it's finally finished. Of course, saying last week, you know, all that is nearly done. We've done all of this side because we didn't do any of the balancing, did we? That all still needs doing. We didn't do the tank front. We forgot loads. But I am really happy with how it's coming. It does seem like a very nice, I mean, I don't know how well the colours are showing up on camera, but I'm really, really happy with how it's coming along. I'm really happy with how the colours are coming out. Took me 4 pictures to be happy with the colours on the thumbnail before choosing the one I did, so whether I trust it to look right on camera or not is a different matter. Up close in person, I think it looks fantastic. And yeah, yes, as Alex says, a great birthday present would be smashing that like button. I do enjoy seeing all the likes on the stream after we finish. It really does put a smile on my face at the end. Lots of cakes, looks superb, says Bob. Thank you, Bob. Very much appreciated. It's amazing that just, this is what, 12 hours in now? And it looks this good. Linny loves the brick. Looks amazing, says Simon. Thank you. Personally in person. Yes, Alex. Yes. Indeed. If you want to question the things I'm saying tonight, I'm just going to show this again, yeah? If you want to question anything I'm saying tonight, there's my excuse. I don't expect to make sense at the best of times. So, yes, we are going to remove the chassis, because of course that will just cause more problems leaving that in since it's not actually attached. And the cab, I'm still really, really happy with how this cab interior looks. I think that's come out brilliantly. The M7 was a very worthy sacrifice. Keep slurping, thanks Bob. Having been completely dry for nearly 2 years now, it does taste good. And hello Corbs, how are you this evening? Indeed, birthday, thank you very much. As long as the line follows a straight line, I say go for it. I'm not sure my line actually follows a straight line when, yeah, in any other night, so you know, are we going to notice? So yes, as I said, we've actually got the balancing to do on this side still, and the tank front, both of which I forgot last week. So, you know, that was silly of me. But if we get them done, get the boiler bands done, get the number on the front done, that will give us some wonderful angles to look at the finished loco from. So of course that does mean getting the big sheet out again. Good evening, Killian. Thank you for the happy birthday. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. We're actually going to want this if we're doing the balancing, because we need to do the steps on here. Because if I put that there, in fact, if I do that first, I will remember, he says, in theory. So yes, last week we used this LBSC. This is now the one we're using here, which is slightly smaller, slightly further apart. Looks much better, in my opinion. Also in the opinion of the picture. Left the fiddly bits till last. Clever. Yeah, I'm not sure leaving the fiddly bits till this week was all that clever. But I appreciate what you're saying, Corpse. Rather well, thank you, as I hope you are and all here. I am indeed very well. I've had a surprisingly good day. Many unexpected things, such as my ex-wife paying for a Domino's. She's got to be useful occasionally, eh? It was rather nice. So if we start this bit here, just with one of these, because they seem about the right size, give or take. Let's get some modelling done. It's good to see so many of you in the chat this early. It really does mean a lot. And of course all you lurkers there, I see how many are watching, so it is good to have you here as well. Talking is of course optional. I mean, not for me it's not, but for you lot it is. So yes, once those are done, we will still have the handrails to make, which we've not done yet. Have the buffers to attach, have the couplings to add on to it. It needs glazing and some gold around the spectacle plates. See, I can do words occasionally. To give the effect of brass, it will need coal added to the bunker. Still, for 12 hours work, I think she's a fantastic model. I would definitely recommend the kit. Obviously I hear other things about some of the other kits from Golden Arrow, but this one does come with my full recommendation. it, especially when paired with the transfers from Ian McCormack and the crew from Andrew Stadham. And of course, not forgetting all the details from Hornby's M7. So thank you very much for that, Hornby. That is that done. Now let's bring this back and get something on here. As I say, then I can't forget, which we all know I will do. Pop that on top of the terriers. This is of course all of my terriers that are out this evening. Very subtle mention. Indeed, Harry, I thought I'd go subtle with that one. But I can at least recommend this one, even if not certain others. It's glorious logo, very well proportioned. It is, isn't it? The D3 was a wonderful machine. It's a shame there are none preserved. Even if my Discord do disagree with me sometimes. They're all insane. They bring facts into the argument, and who needs that? And there is the bot to remind us to smash the like button. And whilst you're down there, subscribe if you haven't already. And remember to ring the notification bell so that you get alerted when I upload or go live. But talking of my Discord, we've gone all posh this week. I've not told anyone this yet. It'll turn up later. In fact, if Alex is putting the links now, it'll turn up about now. There's no more discord.gg/whatever. If you want to join the Oak Hill Model Railway Discord, all you need to do is visit oakhillmodelrailway.co.uk/discord. Because, you know, much more professional looking. Hydration's still important. And hello New Fenris Railroad, how are you doing this evening? I hope you are well. There we go, the first bit of lining on the cab steps for the valances. Now if I compare there to there, that is Keep meaning to bring this up, William. I'm sure these are too big. You're well and enjoying your birthday today. Well then, from someone else who is also enjoying their birthday today, happy birthday, my friend. I hope you have had a fantastic day. I approve of enjoying birthdays today. I mean, I approve of enjoying birthdays any day, but especially today. And a donation from Simon. Thank you very much. That is very much appreciated. Fortnightly donation for the birthday boy. Thank you very much. Every little helps to keep the channel running, keep the supplies in, and hopefully keep you all entertained. You're not getting a birthday command, James. I thought about setting it up, but I'm too lazy. Huzzah for birthday donations indeed, Alex. It would also be a huzzah for not dropping transfers, but I'm terrible at dropping things. Or am I really good at it? Who knows? There we go. Great running trains that I got yesterday for birthday, and got cider chilling in the fridge for later. Excellent. That sounds like a very good way to be enjoying your birthday. Nice chilled cider is always good. Gonna have to lose a fair bit on there. That wants a chop. About there. Yes, perfect. See, occasionally I know what I'm doing. Only occasionally though. Don't get your hopes up on it lasting. See, valance lining is something I always forget to do until I go and look at something with it on. Because although it's such a small detail, it really does lift the finish of a model. But I will completely forget about it, then look at something else and be like, oh yeah, I've not done the valance lining. Yes, that looks good on there. That is positioned as well as can be. which of course means you want some more strips of it off of here. So we shall just slice a full strip out and then measure up what we want to get to the first step. Because we will definitely need more than one strip. Such dexterity, superb. Thank you, Bob. There has been a lot of practice in being able to cut straight lines and stuff. Even with the straight edge, I never used to be able to. There we go, there's a mark on there, quite a substantial one. But yeah, this is definitely one of those details that once upon a time I wouldn't have bothered with. Because I thought, oh, you'll never see it. Of course, the reality is you can see it. And it really does show. Hydration, still important. Go. Even watching someone else do lining makes me start to sweat. That's the heat corpse. It's nothing to do with the lining. But there we go. As you see now, with that front section done, hopefully it's focusing well enough that you can see. It's not that you don't notice it when it's not there, but you really do notice it when it is there, and it really does lift the model. So now we shall put this section on half. So I gave my son his Nelly Bash kit this morning. Looked at it very excitedly with the idea of making this 060 tank engine. Then looked at his new phone and spent the day playing on that. Typical, innit? For those that don't know, me and my son share a birthday, so It's as much his day as it is mine. More so his day now. Means I can pretend I'm still young. No, no, it's your birthday, not mine. He'll come round. Yeah, I'm sure he will. He's just in another phase of not playing with trains. Put that on upside down. That was silly. Might be forever young, but aren't you big in Japan? Always believe in your soul. You've got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in the algorithm shutting me down for copyright claims. I think I got the words right there. You're still not getting proper singing. I blame the hydration. Not at all. The hydration has nothing to do with it. So here we got lining over halfway along now. We're up to the start of the sea. One day you may get serious singing out of me and you will realise it's even worse than my joke singing. So, you know, there's that. Be thankful it hasn't happened yet. If we bring this back in now, we can do one of the sections round the bottom of the steps. Remember kids, hydration is bubbly. It is quite bubbly, nice little head on it, as it should have. But no, it's been a long time since I used to go and embarrass myself at the karaoke. And I've learned very well not to sing. Wait, I did it better, karaoke. That is better, yes. Of course, when I used to do the karaoke, I did always open with gold. I do know all the words all the way through. So slowly we make our way along the loco with the valance lining, which will make a huge difference. It will make it look a lot better. The step lining, the fiddly bits, yeah. Best get those out of the way early tonight, eh? I want something to lean this on that isn't my knife that I have to occasionally steal out from underneath it. I'm looking around at my tools and everything's either going to roll away or is too small. Did the LBSC line wheels? I curse the fact the MR did. I don't think they did in Umber. The closest they came is in Stroudley livery. The balance weights were painted in the olive with the spokes painted over in the ochre colour. No, I'm not going to try and say that properly, so don't ask. I believe that is the closest the LBSC came to lining wheels. But yes, as Linny says, the SECR lined every spoke. Your C-Class should have lined spokes on it, Alex, to show how mad the SECR lining was. Orca livery, what is this, a whale way? But yes. Still not saying it properly. I have good reason not to say it properly. God, that's so good. So very, very good. In fact, talking of the C-Classes, I was watching a Bachmann fully lined C-Class on eBay that ended earlier, and I forgot when it was ending, and I got a notification through from my phone to say it had ended. It was on an auction, £193 it went for. Madness when you consider what they were new, because it's from the first run. Those swines, they cleaned the locos so you can't hide it under the weathering. They did, it was very inconsiderate of them. That C-Class SCR livery was £72 when it first came out. Fact fans, it was indeed. It was £72 when it came out. Which at the time I didn't get one because £72 was too much for me to spend on a loco. I now spend about that on small supplies each month, like DCC chips and couplings and stuff. Never mind the rest of it. Oh, how I wish it would come out for that price now. Jumpers for goalposts, hey penny bit for a bag of bullseyes, etc. Yes. Indeed. And there we go, there's that bit. That can come back out before I break it, because I will break it. The world has changed rather a lot since then. It has indeed. I've just bought a brand new C-Class for less than half what the eBay SECR livery one went for. Unfortunately not in such a nice livery. Well, you'll just have to paint it yourself then, Tom. And anyway, how are you this evening, Tom? I hope you are well. Let's get an end piece on there. I'm just scanning the sheet for where they are. They all point the same way. Where's the other ones? I remember having this problem last time. Could just be me that's insane, but I don't see them. Wartime livery, Collector's Club version is the only one that comes close to the full Wainwright livery in terms of price on eBay. I believe there's one of them listed at the minute as well. Yeah, this could just be me, but I don't see the other end of the valances. Ah, there's two I can nick there. Wavy ones. Mike, oh, sorry, didn't mean to. That's because I had my knife up in the air. Indeed, well, I even remembered to wear a mask and do the spray painting outside today, so my lungs are well too. Well, hey, I approve of well lungs. I always wear a mask for spraying. PPE is important. Undamaged lungs are the best sort of lungs. They are indeed, James. Step 1, buy cheap BR liveried C-Class. And yes, PPE, we do need that as a command. We do. Step 2, repaint an SCR grey, easy to do. Step 3, profit. I'm sure it'll look very nice in that livery as well. Having seen how neat your terrier came out in that, I have no doubt in your ability to do it. It's not that long since BR liveried ones were being flogged at 60 a pop. It's not indeed. But I passed them on because I've got my motorised Great British Locomotives one. Of course, that's not my actual plan. I'm doing something far less profitable and sensible. Ugh. Sensible. The bot says hydration is important. I approve of profit. Indeed, Corpse, indeed. Profit is the best form of fit. At least that's what the cake and beer told me. Yeah, that's the right size. My mug also tells me hydration is important. Hydration is indeed important. Yes, Corbs has one of my hydration is important mugs, and it makes me very, very happy that Corbs has one of those. It is amazing. Actually seeing my merchandise out in the wild, I was a little bit speechless. So thank you for that, Corbs. And to anyone else, exclamation mark merch in the chat to get a link to my Teespring store, where you too can buy a mug that says hydration is important. I've actually finally ordered myself one, so it will come eventually. And there is Alex with the link. Thank you very much. I was tempted to give that a posh link like I did for the Discord the other day, but I couldn't think of one that I liked. Because I just didn't like the ring of Oak Hill Model Railway / merch. It's a great mug, good thickness. Excellent. Thickness is important. Perhaps someone should make a mug with the words mugs are for mugs. I mean, it would be true. But as we discuss these mug things, I'm going to have to open another can. And just for the, for the doubters, yes, I am actually drinking Guinness this evening. Which means I need to prepare it nice and early because you have to let it settle in the glass and do its thing. Because Guinness does its thing. That can has left a ring on the glass. Let's get rid of that. Would we ever doubt your beer drinking credentials? Also, what happens if you don't let it do its thing? What does it do instead? It tastes horrible. The perfect pour of Guinness takes 2 minutes to settle. Guinness will tell you 120 seconds, but I think 2 minutes is just an easier way of saying the same thing. No, catching the camera with your knuckles. But yeah, Guinness needs time to settle, hence the old tick follows tock adverts. Good things come to those who wait. But yeah, I would expect most people probably would doubt my beer drinking credentials. Because this is the first time I have drunk beer in nearly 2 years. Other than a glass of Prosecco at Christmas, it's the first time I've drunk alcohol in nearly 2 years. Oh, that one's come straight off the paper. It's quite annoying when they do that. That looks good to me. And now I want another one of those to do the same on the front step. Good evening, Great Northern. How are you today? I hope you are well, and thank you for the happy birthday. Very much appreciated. No, there's just no way that's following there, so it will indeed have to be freehand. Don't mind cutting freehand when I've got something I can hold on to properly. I am very well, thank you. Glad to hear you are good too. And there we are, nicely settled. Hydration is important. That was already trying to come off. Now it's all folded up, that's no good. Don't do that. There we go, we've unfolded it. Almost like we know what we're doing. Almost. Rain is currently so heavy I've had to turn up the sound. Wow, that's heavy rain. I'm glad it's not like that here, because it does, if anyone can remember from the past, pound on the window just behind that wall. So it does get reasonably loud in here. Another good reason for moving the recording studio out of the living room. Not just because I hate it being in the living room and all that. But that's also a reason. Doesn't want to stick to my finger today, does it? I must not have the moisture there that I normally do. Gary, the only advice I can offer for this is remember to breathe. It's good advice. It is good advice for life, in fact. Because much like hydration, breathing is important. So, we're nearly an hour in. It's about time I asked, how are we all tonight? Do we have any projects on the go? I do love hearing about what you are doing. Please enlighten me. Yeah, there we go. Respiration is important. And there we go, there's that one. Build in and engage BBY turnout. B8Y turnout. I can see the words from here, honest. It's not that I should be wearing my glasses. Rather you than me, James, on that one. Figuring out how my station building is going to blend into the scenery so that I can build the rest of my departure platform. Ah, kind of important then, yes. Figuring out what I'm going to do next, but my streetcar's finally released. What, hey? I approve of finally released. Partially. Just trying to fix the side rods on my motorised City of Truro kit. Ooh, fun. I am not a fan of side rods, but yeah, they can certainly be tricky at times. Lily, as long as it's smaller than St Pancras, it should be fine. Reading up on child psychology, modelling is definitely more interesting. Yeah, was supposed to be painting stuff, but I'm planning a new layout instead. I mean, I approve of new layouts, Tom. Looking at the Met Office and feeling sick. Oh, it's looking that good, is it, Alex? Currently making my station platform paved area as an ash surface using real loco ash. Even smells of loco when ground down. Oh, real loco ash is a brilliant material to use, isn't it, Bob? My Bright Helmstone layout is completely ballasted with loco ash, and it is fantastic. It's kind of lost the smell over the years that I've had it though. But saying that, your platforms look fantastic. For those that haven't seen the work Bob is doing, you want to check out Cambrian Street on RM Web. I'm not sure how happy Bob is with his platforms, but every time I've seen them, I have thought they looked absolutely fantastic. Especially the ash section. It looks perfect in my eyes. Making a copy of all the BR shed codes from an old book I'm borrowing. Fun! Fun indeed. Be good to have the information once it's done though. Right, I do believe we'll leave that lot for now. Let's get the number on the front. Something a bit more tangible. So you can see they are down in this corner of the sheet. Now let's get it here first. Got number 370, or as it has become known, not Victoria. Number 370. Hang my dirty laundry out in public. If I make mistakes, I ask for help. And thanks, Gary, for kind comments. You do indeed show every step of the way, and I think that's a great way of doing it, Bob. Because not only does it get you all the help, it shows everyone out there, look, I've tried this. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. But they do, those platforms, to me, they look stunning. As I say, the ash section looks perfect. So using that list when trying to find Bristol codes. I can't even remember what my local shed codes were in BR days. Right. No, stay that way round. I want to keep you the right way. Because you're an O and it's easy to mix you up and get the shading on the wrong side. Yeah, the Brighton used abbreviations for its shed codes. So Brighton Shed, for example, was BTN. Or Eastbourne, where most of the locos I model were based, was E. And although I currently have no locos with it on, the shed code was worn just on the front of the valance here. And from what I understand, when Ian releases his improved engine green transfers, they will come with shed codes. So I will indeed be able to add them, and I will probably ask him to do me up some of them specially, separately for my other locos that are already done. Because I think it would be a nice touch to get them on there. What was your local shed, Gary? It would indeed be Brighton, as you've listed there. Eastbourne was a sub shed, yes. Books and old transport and handbook from the 50s, very nice. 75A Brighton, Eastbourne was a sub shed. It was, yep. Which I always find it weird because for a sub shed, Eastbourne was huge by BR days. And in fact, Eastbourne shed outlived Brighton shed. Eastbourne was the last ex-LBSC steam shed in use. Not closing until steam left the southern region, at which point it was actually being used to store locos on their way for scrapping, as well as active locos. You're supposed to be on there, Mr. Transfer. My experience of these is that that will stick okay still, but if I need to change it, then I will change it. But yes, I was only reading up on operations at Eastbourne the other night. Friday night, in fact. And some of the more interesting locos that ended up coming in there. Eastbourne doesn't seem to be on my list of Southern Region shed codes. How odd. No, that'll be because it's a sub shed though. Sub sheds didn't get their own code, did they? It'll be grouped under Brighton. There were some interesting decisions made by BR back then as well, such as the Glasgow to Eastbourne overnight sleeper service. I don't see how Eastbourne was popular enough to have an overnight sleeper from Glasgow. Wiki page for said shows has all the subsheds listed. Fair enough. List also includes subsheds. Okay. But yeah, it was a subshed of Brighton. But yeah, the Glasgow to Eastbourne overnight sleeper, which in its later years got rerouted so that it didn't go to Eastbourne anymore, it went to Newhaven. Which makes sense if you get in the boat. But other than that, I mean, there's less in Newhaven than there is in Eastbourne. Having the sleeper doesn't mean everyone is terminating their journey at Eastbourne. It was enough of a hub that it could serve many other destinations. True. Although it had some odd timings. Because there was a electric service to Victoria that left just before the sleeper from Glasgow got in. Only subshed under Brighton is Newhaven on this list. I forgot Newhaven even had a shed. But yeah, there you go, the list from Alex there, because I knew Brighton had a few subsheds. All presumably ex-LBSC sheds. Right, so this needs extending down and across. And I believe that's our safest bet for the lining at the moment. I would love to measure this properly, but my ruler just isn't up to actually measuring things. The problem, of course, being you need some actual measurements that show up on your ruler to measure things. And there is that, and then we want about that much for the top section. When these both come out right, you'll see that this measuring thing is overrated. Measurements that show up are the best sort of measurements. They are indeed, James. I always approve of having measurements that show up. One day I will replace this steel rule. Today is not that day. But whilst they soak, let's remember everyone, hydration is very important, just like measurements. Yes, okay, and kittens, James. There we go. Perfect. And t'other one, which has left the bottom bit behind. Also perfect. Try not to touch the valance. How can I get you to have some light on you better? It is there, I promise, and it does look really good. I've been plotting out some better workbench lighting recently, so hopefully you'll see them better. Oh, and there is the bot plugin, the Patreon. Don't forget to sign up if you do want to support the channel. That's also odd, it says on mine, but those sheds, like New Haven and Eastbourne, have different codes. Horsham being 75D, Freebridge is E, and Tunbridge Wells West being F. I'm so confused. Perhaps they used to not be sub-sheds? And so they had their own codes? And then became sub-sheds and lost the codes? Yeah, in fact, looking at it, Tunbridge Wells was a sub-shed from 63 to 65, Freebridge is 64 to 65, so it could be that your book just predates when those ones were sub-sheds. Eastbourne having been a sub-shed since 52. Which still makes no sense, it was a big shed. Had no roof on it though. Does it count as a shed if it's got no roof? Would have had worse leaks than Alex's house. Just look at the wiki page I linked, it's all explained there. Well, there we go then. Thing is, did a link show up? No. No, it did not. I think links are disabled, Corbs. Not on purpose. Well, I specifically allowed them, but YouTube is a bit weird at showing them. So it probably shows you it linked, but not the actual link to everyone else, because I can't see it, and I've just scrolled back to the start of the conversation. They were initially blocked, but then I thought, well, why am I blocking links? Let's allow them to be posted. And they've just never seemed to work. Which is irritating. But I do know what wiki page you're on about. Right, that is this side being left alone now. And we're going to put some boiler bands on. Going to see if it appears in the chat bot, because I know that gets some stuff that doesn't. No, even the chat bot can't see it. There we go, a link from Alex. And now I open my thing. Oh, that doesn't show what I want it to see anyway, never mind. But yes, boiler band time. Because we're going to leave the valances and stuff alone to let them dry. Thought you were ignoring me. I'd never do such a thing. Blame YouTube. YouTube is the root of all evil. Spoiler bands, the difference between a horse and a zebra. Yeah, fair enough. Do they count? I mean, I want my boiler bands to go all the way round, and do zebra stripes go all the way round? Hydration is important. There we go. Now we'll cut that slightly over long. Move that bit out the way. And come in handy for those boiler bands that are over the tanks. Get rid of that bit of paper from that last bit of lining we did before it sticks on something. Let's get the boiler band in place and try and remember not to touch the valances. This is why I like to get transfers sealed in as soon as possible, because I never remember the bits I'm not supposed to touch, and then I just end up pulling transfers off. Oh, getting these straight is never fun. And there we go, I believe that's straight. You can see why people model BR so much, less transfers. Well, there's just as many lining transfers on a mixed traffic blind black engine anyway. I actually can't ever picture any other BR liveries. Is that weird? Or is it normal? See, SECR grey, it's the future. I hate to break it to you, Tom, but by definition of future, it's not. I mean, BR mixed traffic and passenger locos still have boiler lining, valance lining, tank lining, cab lining, wartime any back. Weird is good, you're right, James. Weird is good. Grand scheme of things, being able to picture railway liveries from the 50s is what's weird. Yep, fair enough. ROD was really basic. To be fair, you could probably count them offhand. ROD was a very basic livery. I plan on having a couple in ROD one day. P class, probably number 27. Which carried technically the wrong number because it wore number 27 when its ROD number was 5027. But it got its repaint at Ashford, and Ashford put its SECR number on it because why wouldn't they? And then Hatton's modelled it with its ROD number. There we go, there's another one on. What was with the ROD liveries? Mr. Mole would be better at explaining that than me. He knows ROD liveries better than I do. BR mixed traffic is LNWR, but more complicated, so people should just model LNWR. Can't argue with that. More people should definitely model LNWR. There's a reason it's known as the Premier line. Like, they were basic, but the base colour changed depending on the loco. There were reasons the base colour changed. And I can't remember what they were, but I think it was like one colour for in the UK, one colour for at the front, etc. But I'm not sure, personally. Proof of the Premier line. Indeed, James, indeed. USA stuff was black, GWR khaki, LBSC green, SECR grey, PLM locos were blue. It's so weird. SECR ROD stuff wasn't grey. The P classes were in olive. Green. Khaki is a myth. Dreamt up in preservation. Is it? I thought some of the ding goods actually did get khaki, but only locos that stayed in the UK. A lot of black USA liveries, you'd be lucky to get a grey or silver smoke box to spice things up. No reference to any books about the ROD, is there not? Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But see, Alex, this is why I say you know more than I do. Because you do. Well, it's not been mentioned in the book I have, black or green only. Fair enough. And was there a distinctional reason they were black or green? SECR grey was their wartime livery, not the ROD. Exactly. What kind of green? The Bluebell recently had, it'll possibly still have, one of Primrose's tanks in ROD green on the platform. It's an olive colour. There are pictures of it on Tinternet. With its correct number, not the one that Hattons gave it in the model. And I see the bot wants to remind us hydration is important. Personally, I think PRR Tuscan Red is wonderful, but that's just me. I do not know the livery. I would be interested in seeing it, Javier. Stick some pictures of something in that livery on Discord for me. Because I do like red locomotives. E4's also carried it in rod service. Ah, did they? Alex, do you know why French and Belgian locomotives in ROD were in ROD bluish grey? Surely French and Belgian locomotives were in French and Belgian liveries. Need to have a look in my book. I don't off the top of my head. So I do think it's a shame with Primrose as it's being restored, because its restoration has come over various wartime anniversaries, and of course itself as a loco did serve in France during World War One. They painted up one of its tank sides in ROD, well, just one of its tanks in ROD livery. Did it all nice, put it on the platform at Sheffield Park to raise funds for the restoration. I think that's fantastic. What is a shame is that they are then, when it's restored, putting it into Southern livery. I would have loved to have seen it restored into ROD livery. They don't need another one rolling round in Wainwright. They've already got Nettle rolling round in Wainwright. They've got Bluebell in Bluebell Blue. It would have been nice to see ROD up there as well. Especially with the tank like that. Predominant ROD livery was black, followed by green. If khaki was used, it was very rare. War Department light rail was primarily black, light grey, with simplex tractors either olive green or even camo. Oh, I didn't know they'd got any in camo. That's interesting. Wikipedia have Primrose numbered as 5027 when in ROD livery, which is wrong. That must be why Hattons have it as their number. Would be nice if one of the SSC locos went to France. Well, the thing is, Primrose was numbered 5027 when it was with the ROD. That was its ROD number. It just never wore it. So they've put the right number on it. It's just it never wore the right number. The annoying thing about Hattons getting it wrong is Hattons worked reasonably closely with the Bluebell when they were developing the P-Class model. So they had the actual owners of Primrose there as advisors. They could have got it right. Kind of how one of the Stradionettes went to Denmark, Belgium. I mean, it would be... But I think it would have been nice if it had gone over for the 100 year or something as a representative of the ROD. But it's a bit late for that. When the transfer, it's in prototype discussion. Excellent, thank you, Javier. I shall look forward to seeing that. So every day is a school day. Indeed, every day is a school day. Sometimes it's good to know stuff, and sometimes I do in fact know stuff. I won't claim to do it often, but sometimes. And get rid of that before I do the wrong bits. Majority of ROD locos used in France came from the Great Western, Great Central, Midland, LNW, Cali, Great Eastern, with numbers of locos coming from other companies, but in such with numbers of locos coming from other companies, but in such large numbers. Yes, I think I've read that right. I'm not sure I understand it, but I think you're saying those ones did lots of companies gave locos, but those ones gave more. Proof of knowing stuff. Stuff is a good sort of thing to know. It is. You are quite right, James. I want one of the P-Class, probably 753, to be painted in wartime grey. Again, that would be a good livery to see. It would be something different to what you normally see in preservation. Tank engines primarily from SEC and LBSC, generally used in ports in the UK, moving rail loads onto the roll-on, roll-off ships. Ah, interesting. So I know Primrose didn't go over to France for long, which I assume is why it never ended up getting its ROD number painted over what Ashford did. But I have to say, if I was Ashford, I'd have done the same. I would have left it with its SECR number on it. Fold them over the ends, and that gives us a nice crisp line on the outside. And there we go, it has boiler bands. Wahey. Some Baldwin 040s were used by the Rod and the Pershing US ATC 101. Indeed, and the ROD ones had detail differences over the US ATC ones. See, I do know. Got to go to work tomorrow, so I'll say good night and enjoy the rest of your birthday, Gary. Thank you, Paderborn. Good night, sleep well. Has been great having you here. I shall speak to you soon. And remember, hydration is important. Baldwin was probably the biggest foreign manufacturer of logos for the war effort. That doesn't surprise me. Looking fantastic, Gary. Going to head off to bed. Great stream. Good night all. Thank you for coming, Simon. It has been great to see you here. So, sleep well. And I shall speak to you again soon. Let's get a quick look at her in one piece. Now that the boiler bands and stuff are done. Ah, yes. That is a very happy me. She is fantastic. Alex, I've been trying to find diagrams for the Baldwin 040. One ended up in the UK at a quarry shunting and 3 ended up in France at a steel mill. Interesting. 1 is the best number of pieces. It's also the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Tank front line in time now. No, that's done. Tank front is lined. Looking splendidly complete. Thank you, James. Rebuilt British style side tanks but still Baldwins. That's interesting. Very interesting. I see it's looking lovely. Thank you, Lily. That is interesting. It is, isn't it, Alex? Looking splendid. All that's beautiful. Thank you, Javier and Killian. Looks awesome. Thank you, Alex. Heck yes. Thank you, Corbs. Very nice, says Great Northern 6. Thank you. Yes, I am most happy. I still need to finish the valances around the top of the steps. So it's not like this side is totally complete. But at the moment, there is still too much movement in them. I think I've ruined this transfer here just now, actually. It might be okay. As I say, I've had some of these of Ian's that have come loose before and a bit of extra water has stuck them a second time. So I shall hope that works. If not, I shall have to replace that. But for now, I think we should move on to this side and get something on this tank side. Leave that side alone before we do any more damage to what is already there. And there we are, our first tank side piece for this side. It is such a lovely livery umber. I think I might even prefer it to improved engine green these days. I certainly never used to, but I think I might now. And there is the bot plugging the Instagram. And why not? That's very nice of you, bot. I do have an Instagram. Sometimes I post stuff that isn't promotion for the live stream. I mean, that's not very often, but sometimes. Remember, hydration is important. Dear me, preferring a mask to a Stroud delivery. I know! It has grown on me over time. It's such a smart, elegant livery. So it certainly never used to be my preferred livery. Right, that's got most of the water off. Hydration kittens. It's very Edwardian. Did I hit the mic again? I do apologise. IEG is more Victorian. It is. IG all the way. Victorian better than Edwardian. See, I've obviously been modelling Edwardian too long. IEG is still obviously the only correct livery for a terrier. The livery and the loco look like they were designed for each other. Which you never know is actually possible. Your room must be very warm as that stout seems to be evaporating at an alarming rate. It is very warm in here, you're quite right, Bob. Very, very warm in here, evaporating away all my stout. Way, you spelt it right. It's a very cute response. Well, I must say, I do think I'm done with the stout now. Having not had a proper drink for nearly 2 years, I think 2 glasses of that is quite enough. Especially whilst doing something like lining a loco live on the internet. As to Terry's numbers, do you watch Matt Wickham's videos about how the Umber Dapple Terrier was largely unrenumberable because the black shading was at a lower layer than the Umber? I did, I remember that, yes. Well, I watch all of Matt's videos. Matt is a good friend outside of YouTube as well as watching videos. So I always make sure to support him. with a watch and a like. Sometimes a comment. But a watch and a like goes a long way towards showing your favourite YouTubers that you do indeed support them. Which I suppose is a roundabout way of me saying, remember everyone to smash that like button. Because it's my birthday and I want to see all the likes. God, this one does not want to come off past about halfway there. There we go, that's better. What is it with Dapple and livery? Seems to be their biggest Achilles heel in Double O. It does. I'm very interested to seeing how they've done these O-gauge Stroudley four-wheelers. I'm very interested in seeing how the livery comes out. Because the coaches themselves are looking quite nice. Like button gently depressed early today. Much appreciated, James. Yes, Dapple seem to get liveries wrong more often than other manufacturers. They do indeed. Already pressed. Thank you, Killian. They're not guaranteed to get it wrong. I don't know. They've got a history with Brighton liveries of the Stroudley era. And O-gauge for that matter. How they ever claimed that was improved engine green, I'll never know. And there we are. Very nice, even if I do say so myself. Engage class 50s were at least 80% correct. 80%. Is that the bar we're setting? Their in stuff is usually better. Cough B4. Oh. Yes. Improved engine yellow. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? You're quite right. Their 50037 was flawless, as far as I can tell. 50040 had the wrong nameplates to have NSE flashes, but this was easily corrected with some Fox nameplates. It shouldn't need correcting though. I mean, some of you may have noticed I quite enjoy this modelling lark and redoing liveries and numbers and names and all that, and even fiddling about with details. But if I buy something ready to run, I want it to be what it claims without me having to do anything. What's wrong with the B4s? Oh, the B4s are ones that even a certain person gave them stick about, Alex. You know, a certain person that got very upset when I started giving them stick about the Double O Terriers. This is true, but since I had a pile of nameplates for renumbering in any event, it wasn't much to add one. Wasn't much to add one more. Nope, fair enough. Bye guys, they say for you, very nice stream, happy birthday O'Keel. Thank you for coming by J94. Has been great to have you here. And good night, thanks for coming. Just say happy birthday again, hope the transfer's going well, look very nice. Thank you Ian, they are going very well indeed. I need to get in touch with you at some point in the future. I have stuff I want to order. On that note, how are things with your etchers at the moment? Can you get things etched, and what's the lead time like since you're here? Because I know you don't keep a stock of your loco kits. Etchers taking about 8 weeks from order, but they're getting quicker as they get up to speed again. Oh, that's not too bad. I may have an order to place at the start of September then. I think start of September should work. Yeah. I'll have the money. I'll have all the money by then. Have a big order in with them, and I've asked for a few spares. Ah, fair enough. Well, come September, I shall have the money to order a G-Class single with an inside framed Stroudley tender. In 4mm, obviously. I have used the birthday to acquire funds specifically for it. G-Class single, gosh, those are very elegant. Another stream project. Indeed, we shall do the G-Class on stream. It is something I've been looking forward to owning for a while. Right, I'll put one on the list. Cheers. Thank you, Ian. Very much appreciated. Just doing transfers for them at the moment. Oh, excellent. I say, I was actually, I was reading your blog earlier, Ian, and I saw that for your carriage transfers, you were linking to my SECR carriage stream on one of your blog posts. Would you like some close-up pictures of the finished carriages with your transfers on that you can use for some promotion, stuff like that? Going to head off Land of Nod. Please you had a great birthday, Gary. Thanks for a superb stream. Have a good week. Regards always, Bob. Okay, thank you for stopping by, Bob. It does mean a lot. I look forward to seeing any work you manage to get done on Cambrian Street through the week. See you later. Good night. That would be welcome, doing the names at present as well. What are you after? Stroudley. I'm sure it was Stroudley, the last one in service. Was still in improved engine green and running in 1914. On the duplicate list by that time, but still running, hauling Pullmans. If I use those two lines I've just nicked in there to cut a diagonal across, that will give me the gold lines in just the right place. And look, there's the curve transfer off the top, come off on my fingers. That's no good. Lovely, make sure I have it ready. Excellent, thank you very much, Ian. Very much appreciated. It's a quandary. Do I look for the last issue? Here's a quandary. Do I look for a last issue Hornby 2P, which is basically Dapol tooling but converted loco drive, or hope Hornby one day retool them? I'd look for the last issue personally. Just going to double check the name of that G class because I've got a feeling it's not. I know where I've got a picture of it. Because I shared it on Discord the other day. There it is. No, it's Stevenson. Stevenson is the name I want for the G class. Got the S right. Got the pioneering, very good loco engineer right. Stevenson, yes, Stevenson. 'Tis indeed. With the A above the number plate? Indeed, Ian, with the A above the number plate. She will be looking rather worn out in my model of her. Pictures I have a fair few chunks of paint missing. I'm just doing that name as I look at your stream. Ah, well, that is most excellent. Been looking forward to having said logo for a very long time. I did at one point have all the correct wheels for her, but they got donated to another project. Stevenson standard G, wasn't she? Not one of the two different ones. She was indeed a standard one, yes. And the last one in service. Struggling on to 1914. Right, I am going to get rid of that pint glass and bring the usual hydration vessel over. As I say, it's been a long time since I've had a drink, so I think we're done with the beers for tonight, and we shall move back on to the orange fizzy liquid. Beautiful. So yes, remember everyone, hydration is important. Yes, standard one wheels are becoming available again from Precision Models. Ah, excellent. Good evening, Thomas. How are you doing? I hope you are well. I've already mentioned Guinness, the lawyers are on their way. I've shown their logo as well. They'll really be after me, won't they? Let's get an LBSC on this side because we are using a different one. So I'm going to show you where I make the cuts on this and why. So going by my photos, these ones which are sort of the LBSCs on here, they're the medium size. Grosvenor, Abergavenny are the non-standard ones, just checked. They are indeed. I actually found that out from Ian's website the other day when I was looking at them. So I'm going to cut from just before the L to just before the and then from just before the S to just after the C. And that means that when I do this, I still have the blank part of the transfer with the gap from the B to the AND, which I can just use to line up the S and the C, and that makes sure I get an even spacing on all the lettering all the way across. Alright, cheers. How the devil are you, birthday man? I am very well, thank you. I have had a very good birthday, with many things that were very unexpected. Such as the ex-wife offering to pay for dinner. And she never even came round. I didn't complain. Talking of Abergavenny, I saw a photo of one of my MR butts today, XMR 440 50s Abergavenny in departmental use. Had an engineer department plate bolted to the splasher. Interesting. Very interesting. That's all good. Happy birthday, by the way. Thank you very much. It is very much appreciated. Yeah, that is rather an interesting photo. I do like photos of locos in departmental use when they've been given a special livery. You never know, one day I might get around to doing some proper transfers for this one in its departmental livery. One day. So I bought this loco on the first day of the Bognor show in January last year. I did all these mock-ups to make sure I'd got sizes right for printing transfers. That night, actually took it back to the show the next day with them on to show how it was going to look, and it's stayed like that ever since. Looked very wrong, not least because Abergavenny was a staunch LNWR shed. Yeah, but it's stuff like that that makes it even better. The more wrong, the better it is. So yes, you see now I put that transfer on, and then I can grab the second transfer, which, to get the spacing right between the B and the S, all I have to do is line the transfers up with each other, and we get the correct spacing. That is Gary's top tip for removing letters from the middle of transfers. I do believe we're about the right place there. We are in the right place there. Cunning plan, indeed. See, that there are things I can still teach people. It does happen occasionally. It also now looks like one long transfer in the reflection. Of course, that reflection will go away once it's actually matte coated. I can't show you on the other side because that's still gloss coated. Have some MR observations after looking at my books. I'll post them on Discord tomorrow. Oh, very interesting. I shall look forward to those, Alex. I shall look forward to those very much. Right, I suppose the next bit we best do is to get round the cabs done. But first, the bot wants you to know hydration is important. So of course, we go back to the transfer sheet. We cut out our nice big curvy transfers, which will be slightly the wrong size. We know this from doing the other side. But we'll cut them out in one piece and then chop them to fit as necessary. And I would like to point out that if I actually lay this loco body down on my D3 drawing, the cab is very slightly the wrong size compared to the drawing. So don't necessarily blame the transfers for being wrong here. We're actually, unlike last week, going to remember to chop a section of this top bit off. Be good to see the Loco Department Terrier finished one day. It will, won't it? I'm going to have to get some more stuff to go with that when it's time as well. Because it's going to go... It's going to be rostered on the layout with a ballast train behind it. Wouldn't have hauled a ballast train, ever. But, since it's departmental use, I'm going to claim, yeah, that's fine, it can have a ballast train. I can't see any other reason for it to be out on the main line. That is the reason I'm drawing Stroudly transfers over scans of the etches so I get curves correct. Oh, see, the curves are correct, Ian. It's slightly stretched out, but as I say, I've recently got a set of Skinley drawings for the D3, and this is the Golden Arrow model, and it is the cab is slightly different to the drawing, so I do think it's more the model wrong than the transfer. Names are a bit of a struggle when they're curved like these. Have to check photos all the time getting there though, so yeah, I can imagine. It'd be so much easier if there was actually a correct font that you could just type them out in. Just thinking, did the Terrier ever go into goods green? I think they would suit it. I don't believe so. I think the Skinley drawing may be wrong. It's certainly possible. I bought Chris Cox was selling a load of Skinley drawings, and I bought them all off him, not because I want to use them for making anything, but because I think they'll look nice in frames. And I think that's as good a reason as any to buy them. Yes, they are nice framed up on the wall. Yeah, that's what I thought. I found some frames on Amazon that are exactly the right size for them as well. It's got D3, got an I3, got a few others. I think there's 5 or 6 I've got there of Brighton engines. Oh, I bought Skinley drawings. They are, Harry. Very nice ones. LBSC good screen, such a nice livery. Looking forward to the E1 in it. Yes, those E1s are going to look fantastic, I'm sure. I am also looking forward to them. They are, especially since they're coming out in improved engine green, good screen and umber. I may be looking forward to them a bit more than my wallet is. Gosh, I've forgotten about the E1. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? But they're working on whatever that Great Western one that they're doing first is. 16XX, is it? Some I won't be the first RTR in good. It will be the first RTR loco in good screen, yes. Stevenson name completed. Remind me when you order the G and I'll throw the name in as a birthday prezi. Seems I have drawn it today. Off to bed now, choosing. Alright, excellent. Thank you, Ian. That is very much appreciated. I shall look forward very much to doing that. Good night. Thank you for popping by. Has been absolutely wonderful to have you here as always. Let's drop that in there. Yeah, wish it had been the 15XX. Yeah, that's a much nicer loco. I agree, Alex. And good evening, Alexander. Thank you for coming by. Do not worry about being late. Thank you for the happy birthday, sort of. And how are you this evening? I hope you are well. Hydration is very important. It is really warm here. I was going to get either the IEG one or the good screen one, but now I'm leaning towards transition umber. It's just so different. Yeah, see, I'm just hoping that they've printed it in such a way that it's nice and easy to put the transition umber into actual LBSC. It'd be really nice if the only difference is the B above the number, and you can just take it off with a fiberglass pencil and everything be fine. I doubt it'll be that easy, but I do plan on getting it in all 3 liveries. 15XX in BR Line Black would have been a definite pre-order. Yeah, I can see why. It is a fantastic locomotive. Right then, let us chop out the other side. So that we can have both sides of this line. Let's get rid of that bit that's sitting loose and I'm catching my fingers on. Are Skinley drawings known for being dodgy? Not really. The ones you've got will be fine. I've not heard of people having issues renumbering Rapido stuff. Granted, they haven't done a huge amount so far. Somewhere have the article 15XX first introduced. Same time, you can always save up and get all three, or possibly Santa might bring me one. MR Battery Loco drawing I bought looks fine, as does Sentinel. Oh, really, that is quite cool, Killian, that you've got that article. But yeah, the Skinley drawings are reasonably reliable. And as I say, your ones are rolling stock, they will be fine. I'd not even noticed that you'd misspelt battery until you corrected it, Alex. Rolling stock better than vegetable stock. That depends on what you want it for, James. Because if you're making a roast, the rolling stock probably isn't too helpful. Don't think that one would be very comfortable travelling in an Oxo Cube. I mean, it would be better than a 313 or a Pacer. Suspension's better for starters. Let's get that bit in the water. So I once had to travel Eastbourne to Brighton in a 313. An Oxo Cube would have been much better. If you got a bit worried then, if there's anything wrong, I should stand out against drawers of the same vehicle. Thank you for reassurance. Yeah, no. That they will be fine. I assure you, Harry. Do not worry. 313s aren't Pacer level. Nothing is that bad. Have you ever been on a 313, Alex? 313s and 315s, the latter of which were in use until very recently in this vicinity, were definitely not built for comfort. No, they were not. Terrible seats, but the suspension is better than a Pacer. Maybe. I mean, they have suspension, so there's that. And look, there we go, there's the bot showing off the new Discord link. So much posher. I'll be honest, I'm surprised with myself that it took me this long to realise that I could just put a JavaScript redirect on a page to go to the Discord invite link and therefore have my own vanity URL without paying Discord for one. Never said they were comfortable, but nothing as bad as a Pacer. So what you're saying, Alex, is you agree with me that an OxoCube would be preferable to a Pacer? So on the talk of all this modern rubbish, I actually didn't realise 313s were as old as they were until Southern did the heritage unit into BR Blue and grey. I assumed they were 80s unit until they did that. I was like, oh, really? They're that old? Pacers were designed by sociopaths. So you're still agreeing with me that an OxoCube would be a preferable mode of transport? Because what I'm seeing is an agreement that an OxoCube would be a preferable mode of transport to a Pacer. Four 455s were 80s units and were initially delivered in blue-grey. Fair enough. Okay. I suppose they would be really, yeah. But it wasn't. It was when they put it into blue-grey that I looked into how old they actually were. Accounts, sociopaths, same thing. Never disagreed. I never even mentioned that comparison. No, I know, but but I wasn't comparing. The only thing I was comparing is I was comparing 313s and Pacers to OxoCubes, not to each other. Because of course I have a lot more experience of a 313 than I do of a Pacer. What with being from a part of the country where we have 313s but don't have Pacers. And knowing that James is in London, I think of the 313s as serving that way as well, because of course I have seen them that way back in their past life. Of course, the advantage of 313 or a Pacer over an OxoCube, 313s and Pacers are actually items of rolling stock that can actually transport things. I'm not sure that is an improvement. I'm happy I grew up around 150s, they were fine. Oxo's generally better in gravy. This is true. Yes, they had cushy seats. Units on my local line from the 1980s when it opened. Meant to finally be getting new ones by the end of this year, but it's probably more like next year now. Otso tubes, cockney rhyming slang for the tube. Ergo, tube stock. Which units are those? Yes, which units are your ones that are being replaced? So I am not glad I grew up around VEPs, but at the same time they're not Pacers, so I do have to look at it that way. Just known as Metro units. God, naming schemes get so tacky, don't they? Metro units. I don't think they have a number classification. Oh, they will have a number classification. Quite what it is another matter, but they will at least have one. I actually raced a pacer the other day at Dawlish when I was driving alongside the railway line. Did you win? And did you lean out the window and shout it's safer by road? I'm amazed Pace is still used. It's madness. So James has happy memories of VEPs in their final year. I have no happy memories of VEPs. I have PTSD of VEPs. Wouldn't be safer by road if drivers... It wouldn't be safer by road if drivers are wanting to lean out the window and shout at passing trains. Also isn't safe by road, isn't it? It is not safer by road. Should have done technically yes, since it stopped at a station. Fair enough, but yeah, you should have done. Why the vet hate they had corridor compartments? I only got to ride in a compartment, in a vet compartment once, ever. The rest of the time I was in an open. I was not a fan of the VEPs. But they were literally... The NSE liveried VEPs were all we had in Eastbourne. Whenever we were going away somewhere and we were driving along past a railway line and I saw a goods train, I would get it sighted because it wasn't a VEP. Remember hearing last Fumpers were going and not being fussed in the least. You missed out. Why did you not like VEPs? Just the ride on them, the constant monotony of what a VEP was. Wish I'd ridden Thumping in service, would have to get somewhere to see one in preservation at some point. See, it would be nice to have variety. Variety is good. My childhood consisted of many VEP rides between Handon Park and Eastbourne. And the sheer monotony of a VEP. I just can't stand it anymore. I remember the D-Muse on the Reading to Basingstoke line in the 80s. See? I don't. Growing up in Eastbourne and never venturing far except for holidays, there were a good number of years where I believed all trains were like VEPs. I thought that was it. Everywhere had VEPs because it was all I saw. Surely that applied to any era. People in the 30s likely thought steam hauled suburban trains were monotonous. Yeah, but they probably weren't quite as worn out as the VEPs we used to get. And they didn't look like a blooming tube of toothpaste either. When I was a nipper, the trains that I travelled on most were Class 117s, pressed steel demused, ones with a door to every seating bay. NSE livery is lovely. NSE livery is not lovely. It's a tube of Aquafresh. If I wanted to model NSE, I would just squeeze my toothpaste all over my layout. We won't discuss my NSE liveried stock. I'm curious, how often did unit liveries change down south? I remember NSE for the start of my life. Then we moved on to Connex livery. And I believe we went from Connex to what we have now. And I think that is it for liveries in my lifetime. It's certainly possible there was the occasional blue-grey VEP still in my time, but I don't remember them. My earliest memories of them are in blue-grey, and then NSE branding slowly came in before they had full NSE livery, and I was always disappointed that the internals were not changed. Well, no, we couldn't be updating and refurbing things and making them nice. Don't be silly. It's NSE. Can't have nice things. I like a bit of NSE. My Engage is very NSE focused. I miss NSE in my area. It's always been annoyed by that. Yeah, Connex went into Southern. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I genuinely only remember the 3 liveries. As I say, it's possible I saw blue-grey VEPs in service, but I don't remember it. Instead, I just have horrible flashbacks of these things. The amount they bored me and how horrible they were. I remember the sheer joy the first time I got on a 377, is it? The Electro Stars that Southern run? Or the 170s, which are their diesel units, because we get 2 different types of unit now. We never had that before under NSE. Interesting, my line's units have changed liveries 3 times in their lifetime. I mean, we're talking a similar lifespan, so I just missed the Centro 150s round here, still having regional railways branding. See, regional railways livery I do like. I think that's very smart. I prefer it to NSE, certainly. In my lifetime, our trains have gone Central Trains, London Midland, and now the ghastly West Midlands train livery. Well, you can't have nice things, it's not allowed. Yep, RR is a nice livery. That was inspired by the ScotRail livery, I believe, which in turn was a modified version of the Intercity livery of '84. Ah, interesting. Very interesting. ScotRail livery was lovely, obviously. Was indeed James, and yes it is. It was. Yeah, there we go then. Now I'm learning stuffs. Every day's a school day and all that. That has not cut far enough. I thought it was only a little bit hanging on there still. Obviously not. The most common passenger liveries at Worcester in the late 80s, early 90s were Regional Railway, Centro, RR and ASE. See, that's more liveries than I got. That's more liveries than I got units. I'm just too young to remember them. Darn children. That's what you are, Alex. You're a darn child. Get off my lawn and all that. See, I was alive at the time, but I can't remember that far back. No, you're a darn child. That's what you are, Alex. You're so young, you can't even top. My earliest train memory is Sir Nigel Gresley and Gordon on the SVR. I'm thinking just how monolithic they were. See, that's a nice memory. My earliest memory is definitely Veps. They ran past the end of my grandma's house because her garden backed onto the railway. But yeah, as I was going to say, Alex, you're so young you can't even type the year you were born out of sheer embarrassment of your age. Either that or because Taylor Swift trademarked it. Waits for Luke to show up and defend Taylor Swift. Oh, I did have a nice big... I thought there was a big bit of that around somewhere. could have used that to cut the bit off for there rather than struggling with that tiny piece. Oh Luke, I do miss that. Typical go just before we got more GER fans on Discord, isn't it just? I should probably mention that to him sometimes. I speak to him on Twitter quite a lot still. I say he had a couple of the drawings off me as well and paid for them really quickly. Yes, I was thinking of mentioning it to him as well. Yeah, I think it's worth doing. Definitely. Because it would be good to have him back. But it was funny. I took a picture of the two drawings that I knew he'd be interested in. Sent him the picture and just said, "Want to buy some drawings?" And he replies, maybe, I don't know. So I just replied with £7 posted. Got a message back about 30 seconds later. Mum's just sending you the money now. Maybe he'll come back if we promise not to blame him for everything. See, he still tells me that's not what it was. He's very insistent it's nothing to do with that. "10 minutes ago, just time for some more kittens and also cake." It's always time for cake. Just coinky dink then. Yeah, that's what he says. He does indeed claim it was all a coincidence. I don't believe him. But he does say it. But yeah, there is always cake, especially when there's only 10 minutes left of me celebrating turning years old. And there's also always time for hydration. Because hydration, you see, is important. I cannot believe how much of this has got done this evening. This side is a lot more complete than I thought it would be. I should probably check I haven't completely destroyed the valance on the other side. No, it's all still mostly there. Yeah. Might need some touching up, but it's mostly there. And once I seal it in, it'll be fine for next week and we can finish it off. Might actually get the logo finished next week. Have to work on something else. Get a birthday cake shape like any logo you want, but not a terrier, what would it be? Now that's an awkward one. Because I am one day going to have to dig out the photos of this. I did, quite genuinely, one year, have a birthday cake shaped like a terrier. And it was absolutely massive. I mean, it was sort of that long, that tall. It was absolutely huge. And it was an improved engine green. My girlfriend at the time handed over lots of pictures of Stepney and said, I want a cake that looks like this. Only I want its name to be Gary and I want its number to be whatever age I was at the time. There are pictures of it somewhere and it was absolutely fantastic. The cake woman did an amazing job. But it was the biggest cake I've ever had. Very massive, quite unlike a terrier. Indeed, quite unlike a terrier. But yeah, I have genuinely had a cake the shape of a terrier. If it had to be not a terrier, it would probably be a P class. If it had to not be a terrier. But I do have to find the photos at some point because it was the most amazing cake. The problem is I genuinely have absolutely no idea where the photos are. Like, it has been probably 5 years since I last saw the photos. It put O-Gauge to shame. Oh, it did. It did indeed. P-class, very similar, not a lovely, elegant Victorian class 222. Well, I mean, there are some very elegant Victorian 222s, but no, I think it would have to be a P. I prefer tank engines to tender engines. Fair choice. If you find the picture, they should go on Discord. If I find the picture, they will go on Discord, James. Don't worry. Would be easy to make compared to many classes. That's true. It would be much easier than many classes. I'm impressed a terrier got made. Like, when my girlfriend of the time asked what I wanted my cake to be, and I said a terrier, I was actually joking. I was not expecting her to go to a cake maker and get me a terrier shaped cake. Oh dear, we only have 3 minutes left. We do, and I'm just hoping to finish this bit of the bunker here before we end. Because I do think that will be a good place to call it. I saw a double fairy cake on Twitter a while back. It was stunning. Yes, I can imagine. In fact, I think I saw the same cake at some point. I do believe I've seen it. Not long ago. But to give you an idea of how many years ago this terrier cake was, at the time I only had one terrier model. And I don't think, no, I didn't even have a layout then. So I hadn't even started my 1950s modelling, never mind pre-grouping. Drew Brighton dedication, not even Stroudley had a terrier cake. He just wasn't dedicated enough, that's all it is. He didn't have enough vision, that's what it is. Definitely retweeted it, but on my old account I think. Well, chances are that's where I saw it then. Forgot to put the cab back in. Put the cab in. Because it is midnight. We need to pose the loco for the end of the live stream. And then we need to end the live stream. It's midnight. It's not my birthday anymore. Isn't that a shame? What done with the box? There it is. Huzzah and hurrah for birthday progress. Don't worry, you'll have another one next year. Well, that is the plan, certainly. I intend on having another one next year. Let's roll you forward so you're slightly more centre of the camera. Lovely progress too, thank you James. Well sir, it's been a wonderful stream, hope you had a great day. I have indeed, Killian, thank you very much, looks amazing. Thank you Heritage Railway Productions. So yes, here we are, she's looking a lot more complete. She has most of the valance lined, the tank front is lined. There is a number on the front buffer beam, and of course, as you've just seen, most of the other side of her is now lined. The boiler bands are lined. I've just looked over at the TV and seen her in full screen on the TV. She's stunning. She's absolutely stunning, that's what she is. I don't believe there's anything left for me to say other than thank you for joining me here for my birthday. It has been great. I have loved every minute of it. Please do like, subscribe, all that great stuff if you haven't already. She's gorgeous, Gary, lovely work. Thank you, Linny. Yes, I am very happy right now. So yeah, thank you for joining me for my birthday, everyone. please do remember to come back next week. We'll do the same thing again. Come back on Tuesday where I've got a layout update for you. If I remember to film it. I meant to film it yesterday. I genuinely forgot. But until then, all that's left for me to say is thanks for coming. Bye for now. And see you next time.